All right, Dr. Ali, we are live.
Hmm.
Yep. So,
It's
hey,
a valid meeting ID. The real ID is valid.
yeah, but I sent the meeting ID now. Dr. Ali, he's in there. I see Dan. There's two
Okay,
people
no,
in.
but I thought that was for us, the panelists. That was the one.
Yeah, yeah, but there's a Zoom next to it. I say that for those participating, this is a Zoom ID.
All right, so there's another one you sent. Okay, so you change everything around. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you
All
see
right,
it?
I'll bring it up. No, no, okay. So it's under.
Just when I say that 9 p.m., there's a Zoom meeting,
So
ADC
basically,
Pilot.
the debate, ABC, for those participating in the debate, please use the okay.
Yes.
Everybody, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sounds out.
All right,
All
perfect.
right, all right.
Yeah. Mhm. So I see Dan go on. I see Anririan. So Dan and Ann, you're probably gonna have to be on video for you to be seen on YouTube.
Yeah,
When you turn
understood.
the video off, yeah, you cannot be seen on YouTube.
All right, thank you.
And you probably want to see, fix your camera to see. Yeah. All right. Now I can. You're muted. You're muted. I can't see. Yeah.
I'm in bed, so
Oh, you are in bed. All right. We can always listen to you. But we're probably not gonna be on from by the audience. You're muted. You're muted. I can't.
Same here. I'm in bed, so I can't have the video on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
All
sorry.
right. Yeah. Let me see whether Kifadik just logged in.
I said I'll be here drinking my kitefa.
And where are you drinking it from?
Me, I'm home. I'm on my
No, I'm asking the lady Lillian.
Frisco, Texas.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. What is your name? Guest one.
Guest one is Dr. George Kiongera.
I think I saw your name somewhere in the
You
group.
did?
Mm-hmm.
You are being told to be there.
Yes.
Oh, hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
who's that man with the
Modo.
beautiful beard? Who's the man with the beautiful beard? When I grow up, I just want to be like you.
Really?
Yes.
You also have yours, and you look
Oh,
great, Chris.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, you look great. You look
All
great.
right, all
Yeah,
right, good,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good, good.
yeah.
So who do we have right now on? Who do we have? Who do we have? We have Anne Lillian. I see Al. I see Dan is on mute. Sam is on
Yeah,
mute.
I am here, Daniel Karanja.
All right, Dan Karanja, Santa
Hmm.
Sana. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
I am asleep. That's why my video is off.
Okay.
Is it that
Uh,
late? It's too late.
uh,
Are you
uh,
like are you like Mundia? You know, Mundia was knitting some sweaters. Are you that like is that too late?
for me,
Do we
nine
need to
o'clock, 10
request
o'clock is too
questions?
late.
Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. So
All right,
so
guys.
so so Al, how we doing on that side? Do we know what kind of traffic we have yet?
Uh, five people right now, but we just
On
went right.
YouTube?
Yeah. So,
Let
um,
me see.
yeah.
Um, Let me see whether I can share it. I
So which
have to
copy?
call my technician.
All right. Now, who's Sam? Sam, who are you?
Sam, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sam, we can't hear you.
Sam Tugi.
Ah, Thugi man. A man like Thugi. A man like Thugi.
I'm here. I'm listening.
Sawa.
I'm on the road, just playing daddy role. So I'm on the road. All right.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anytime. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what? We're just trying to create something here. We're trying to create a movement. We're trying to create, the key thing is involvement, participation. The thing in life, I believe, is for you to feel like you belong to something, you have to be involved. And I think this is the first stride, just trying to create that level of it's about you as a participant. It's about you as a subscriber. Your voice is valid, and that's what we're trying to propagate. So I think this is going to be the beginning of hopefully a new dimension where we all feel like we have something to offer because we do. We do. And so let's see how tonight goes. Let's see how tonight goes. Absolutely.
You're on the right path. You're on the right path.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. So Sam, what did you think of the show yesterday on COVID? What do you think?
Honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to watch it because I've been all COVID knee deep. I'm dealing with a lot of COVID stuff. Doing a lot of vaccinations right now. So I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I did share it across all the forums, like I said before.
Yes, sir.
It's just I'm gonna get to watch it probably tonight with wifey, then I can be able to comment.
Daktari, have you watched the show yet? By any chance?
I did, and I was surprised that you came down with COVID.
I did. I
had my vaccine yesterday.
I did. But mine was mild. God is good. Mine was mild, but a few of my friends were a bit harder than others.
Okay.
It happened at the beginning of the year. My 2 weeks, my 10 days were over, I think on Monday or something like that, and I tested negative. Yeah. But I did, and it was for me it was an eye opener because I thought we were done. I personally thought I beat this thing. I'm never gonna get it.
You guys were pretty gung ho. It's like this thing was a fluke. The way you were treating it, you never treated it seriously.
We did not. No, we did not.
Let's be honest.
No, let's be honest. Let's be honest. I personally.
Why does that surprise me?
What?
You did not take COVID seriously? Why?
From the perspective of I don't know. I just didn't think we'll get it. Honestly, I just never thought it would ever happen to me.
I have been safe since March, and I work with COVID patients.
So the thing is, you guys know better than us. It's just honestly, and it's fault on our part, but it was a wake-up call. It was a major wake-up call.
If I got COVID, it would be very, very bad.
I can only imagine.
Like very bad.
I can only imagine.
I actually blew up on my boss like last week. Mm-hmm. Now I can work remotely.
I can only imagine if you had something like this, it would, for you with your condition, I cannot even try to understand or try to fathom.
I would not even try to. I yell. I don't know. I think it's just because when it started coming out, I knew it was a respiratory disease. Mm-hmm. So, and because I know my lungs have scar tissues in them, mm-hmm. and that is how COVID is destroying the lungs, is by putting scar tissues in them. Mm-hmm. I kind of knew I had to be very careful. So at that point, I had a boss that was very understanding. He kicked me out of work and he said, work remotely. My new boss came in and I was told I have to go back to the office. And I had to say, if I get sick, I'm suing, because I told him that if I get sick, I'm suing you. Because you have 6 letters from my doctors. When he heard that, he called me the same day. He told me, just work remotely.
Wow.
But it's just to protect me. It's not about the money. It's not about suing. It's about
No.
protecting me.
Honestly, with your situation and the way you've laid it out to us, it makes all the sense in the world. And I'll say this, shame on me. I'll say this honestly, shame on me, and for not taking this thing serious enough.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. You're not the only one.
You're not the only one, dude.
The entire golfing fraternity, though that they were immune to the disease.
I think there are so many people who are taking it lightly. And I think there's if you talk to folks back home, there's a little bit of a stigma with COVID, and I think we have the same mentality here. And I think it's almost the same thing when it comes to taking the vaccine. I mean, I think a lot of education needs to be done when it centers on vaccine. And some people are not going to take it. Some people are still on the fence about it. It's just a matter of like, what do you do? How do you convince somebody to either mask up, take care of themselves, or even get the vaccine? It's going to be a challenge going on.
For me, I will get it the first day I get the chance. Even though I work from home, I know I have colleagues who work from home too, who have been infected. Two of them, my boss and a colleague of mine. They work from home all day. They never go anywhere except to do shopping, and they still got infected. So I'm not taking any chances.
I had the Moderna shot yesterday.
You did?
Oh, you have the Moderna?
I did. Yeah, I did have it yesterday.
I think you did good with Moderna. I don't know. I was hoping and I was praying that we were going to get Moderna. I got Pfizer.
I don't think there's much difference.
Me, I've been on the fence about the vaccine.
In terms of efficacy, Pfizer is in the 90s, although Moderna is in the high 90s, and according to data, that is not much difference.
When you say data 90s, what do you mean by 90s?
Data. That means that people during the study, those people who had Moderna, 95% were able. I mean, never got the disease.
Okay.
That is with Moderna. With Pfizer, I think it was about 94%. So the difference is very slight.
Understood.
Yeah.
So I think for the people, sorry for cutting you, Chris.
Go ahead.
I think for the people who are on the line about the vaccine is because they don't realize, like the people with lupus mostly, in the lupus or autoimmune disease community, because I'm in so many of those groups, the problem is they think that the vaccine is live or like the other vaccines. And I try to tell them, because most of my doctor friends actually told me that is the most genius vaccine they have seen come out. And everybody told me, go ahead and get it, because that is the only, I don't even take a flu vaccine because I'm so afraid of what it's going to do to my body,
Yeah.
But this one, I was like, I wanted it so bad because it doesn't leave it just leave the protein traces for you.
Yeah.
It does not leave anything else.
Really?
So for me, knowing and researching about this vaccine, I was very comfortable with it. So even when we were having our vaccines at work, because we had CVS come and bring it, I had to convince some of my coworkers who are on the line.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing though is that our African American people are mostly on the line than the white people, and it's just because of the things that have happened previously, the syphilis,
the scurvy.
And then they usually do the clinical trials in Africa and stuff like that. And I'm telling them, no, this is different. This is like really different.
Yeah.
I think one of the key things that people have to be educated about is this one here. So many people say, how come it only took 9 months to get the vaccine as opposed to the HIV? But this is the thing. The simplest way to express it, this one here, when you throw $7 billion to a problem, you will get a quick solution.
But
that's a key word. That's a key
this
word.
one has not been, it was not 9 months. This is
it was
something
20 years.
It was 20 years. This
20
lady
years.
has been working on this
but over the past year,
they just
the government threw a lot of money
including
towards
Dolly Parton.
getting the solution.
But
Yeah,
the other
that's a key
factors too. The other factors too, because it depends on the nature of the disease. Other diseases have received a lot of attention, and because of the complexity of those other diseases, it will take much longer and much more effort to get the cure for them, like cancer and many others. So it depends on the nature of the disease as well.
But see, this vaccine itself was being made for cancer, cystic fibrosis,
yeah.
and AIDS. So
It's been
it was
around
being
for a very long time. It was only
specifically for
tweaked.
those
It was
three.
only tweaked. It was only tweaked.
It was only tweaked, and she has been
Tweaked,
working
yeah,
with
to
it
be able to.
from '89. So
Yeah.
this one was just. I think I looked before I take something. I have to be very careful with it. So this one, I'll really research it. It has
Yeah.
been in the making since the '80s.
Yeah, it's an
Was
old
being
thing.
made for AIDS, cancer,
Yeah.
and cystic fibrosis.
And by
So
the way, COVID is not new. COVID is not new. I mean, it's been there. It's been there. If you go back and look at the science or the data behind it, COVID is not new. It's come in different forms, in different variants. You know what I mean? It's not something new.
So let me ask you this. I sent a clip the other day, a couple of days ago. And even Fauci is involved in this. It's like this thing has been ongoing for the longest time. Did you guys get a chance to watch that? Like, there's been history. This is not something that no one knew about. It's been under wraps for quite a while. But it's been around. It's been on hushed tones. But it's people in the know have been talking about it for quite a while. Do you guys know anything about that?
So like I said, it's not something new. It's been there for a while, especially in China. From the data that I've looked at from a little bit of research, there's a little bit of COVID that came from snakes as opposed to bats. So there's some stuff that has been there. If you go back and you look at the headlines when Kobe Bryant died, on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, they had actually said X number of people had already died from COVID-19 here in America. Then everything exploded. So this thing has been there for a little bit longer than we actually know. I mean, if you go back to the American system, there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to, or there's a lot of short-term memory when it comes to things here. People forget things so fast. But once something kind of has a very big impact, then there's a amplification or glorification of certain things than they're supposed to be. But COVID has been there for like a very, very long time. Or coronavirus has been there for a long time.
The coronavirus that is very unique to human beings has been there for a very long time. And it is something that people would get, and then after maybe 2 weeks, to get out of it. But the COVID-19 was so special because it was only unique to bats. No, it had never infected humans prior to the infections that the Chinese got in the wet market. That was the first time that it somehow migrated from the bats to human beings.
So, Dr. Kagera, you're saying the bat theory is real? Is that what you're saying?
It is real. Yeah, it is real.
So they ate the bats, the Chinese ate the bats and they got the COVID? Is that what you're saying?
No, what happened is that the virus, which was very unique for the bats, just went to humans, and then it somehow changed its protein, and now it becomes unique to human beings. So it's not exactly the same virus that is susceptible to bats, but the moment it migrated from the bats to humans, it somehow mutated and now became very specific for humans, but very aggressive.
So the theory that I had a few days ago that I spoke about is the Faucis of the world. When this funding was not allowed to be done in the U.S., they decided to take it to China. And when it came to China, basically the lab was in Wuhan. There's all these
conspiracy theories.
A lot of conspiracy theories. Well, what's true? What's false? I mean, the whole bat theorem. How true is that? The whole Fauci thing with the fact that, yeah.
So, Kevali, is the show on or?
Oh, you're here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're here. Oh, God, help us.
I've been here and you guys were just discussing Corona. I don't know, today was about politics.
This is Mundia. This is, by the way, my friends, this is Dr. Mundia from all the way from Timau. Okay.
Yeah, I'm all the way from my beloved sub-county Timau in Meru, sub-county, Meru County.
Wow.
No, we're just we're just engaging each other as we're hoping to grow the momentum. We're all 12 participants. The goal today will be politics, but right now we're talking about something that's prevalent.
It's called climate setting.
Yeah, there we go, doctor. Yeah, tell him.
The most interesting thing.
When are the votes from Dharakanidi coming in? You know, Donald Trump is.
Oh, the vote from Dharakanidi. Oh my goodness, I can't with that. So because you guys were so much talking about Corona, and I've just come from Motherland, and I can just say that there's no Corona in Kenya. People are good.
You sound like Magufuli.
There isn't. So whoever thinks there's Corona in Kenya, and I know that we have public health specialists here, but the thing is, there's something going for the Kenyans, and with a population of 40 million, they have more than 100,000 cases. And I don't want to hear somebody telling me about testing, because even if you don't test, and I, with due respect with the specialist here, even if you don't test, people will be dying. I come to the village where there's nobody who has died of Corona. Nobody uses mask or anything. So to me, there's something good about Africa. There's something happening in Africa in which people have not been able to know what's happening.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
The thing is, Kebadi, I know you are from Nairobi, so you don't understand about the village. When we are growing in the village, when you are cut by a richuva, you know what's a richuva? You know, something cut you in your leg.
Yes, a bottle.
You put soil, you know?
Okay.
And then get infected, you call something called, these days you call infection pulse. It will call mahira. You place it. These days, if you get pulse somewhere, you think about you're gonna be septic or anything. But we used to survive. So I think people have developed immune system, very good immune system, and the food they eat. So the Corona there, the effect is minimal to the people.
No, I tend to think what is really working for Kenya and Africa in particular is the campaign that was done in the 60s. I'm a bit old. Early 60s, people like us were being forced to have whatever type of vaccination that the government would introduce. And they would be done in school. It would be like mass vaccinations, and there was no option of opting out. You had to be vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And we had special days
mm-hmm.
that people from wherever, that is from the dispensaries or from the health care clinics, are coming for a vaccination campaign. And I can tell you for a fact, by those days we didn't know allergies. It didn't matter. You had to be vaccinated. You would be vaccinated and maybe go and die, but you had to be vaccinated.
Dr.
And I tend to think,
after question. So growing up, we most of us growing up, our generation, we have on our arms, we have the polio vaccination and another one.
The BCG. The BCG.
BCG.
So what was that all about? What was that all about?
That's for tuberculosis.
Okay.
The BCG. And they really helped, and I'm sure that those are the benefits that maybe majority of Africans are deriving from, even after COVID, having gone to Africa.
I think. Yeah. Okay. So I think this thing's working for us. But anyway, Kevadi, thank you very much. I think this is fantastic. We have been looking forward where we can reach, and and I like the panel today. So let's keep it going, and let's go politics. Are we today not discussing politics, or what's happening?
It is politics. It is politics. Al, how many? What's the quorum like? Al, I see 13 over here. What are we looking at, Al? What do we have right now?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. There's good quorum. The feed is going on YouTube. I just sent it to the group. They're gonna be sending it to another group. So, yep, this is good. This is a good start. You know, we are looking for a platform whereby we can be allowing people to debate. You know, especially when it gets heated. You know,
Yeah.
people come on here. Marcy, I can see you. You are muted. I can't hear you.
I see Nixon sipping and muted.
You know, I'm surprised today he's not wearing his bumblebee jacket. You know, but
You stay mapema, eh? I know. I can see. With his three computers over there. I see you.
No, I was just saying hi, Nixon.
I know, Ann. I know. We're good. I'm just thinking of a comeback for this Jama over here with his computers. But anyway.
Okay. So Neki Oranyo, what are you being given?
Actually, it's tea. I'm actually drinking it's tea.
Okay. I'm here with my ketefa.
Nice.
And I'm just drinking juice.
Nice forum, actually. This is exciting. These things are a lot of fun if we get it going. And by the way, Dr. Tenga habari yake, I haven't seen a while.
Salama kijana, hujambo?
Sana, karibu sana, niko poa sana. Emase, nice to see you.
Yes, sir.
I see Mase.
Hey, Mase, vipi bwana?
Hey. I see Mulia.
Leave the villager from Kiadutu and his mashebes down there. I have no idea what you're talking about, saying that the corona does not exist. Boss, we've buried people who died from that thing. What are you talking about?
How many people?
No,
does it matter?
No, that's not what he meant.
No, it's a simple question. Kenya is around 40 million people.
47.
Yeah, the better. So, and the positivity rate, the people with corona, they confirmed is less than 10,000, 100,000.
Yes.
What's the number of Massachusetts?
The population. Okay, again, we're debating here. Just let me make my point. My point is this: corona is real.
It is. It is.
So let's not downplay the fact that whether it's two people or one person, it's real.
No, that's not what he meant. He didn't mean to. I don't think he meant to say it's not real. No, the point he was making was very different. He was saying, if I'm not wrong, Mondia, that the infection rate in Kenya is far lower than here. The question was why.
Just
I can help you answer that.
Okay. Yes, brother.
The thing is this, right? There's two things that's happening, but that obviously is going, and especially not just for us, but just in Africa in general. The whole vaccination Dr. Kagera was talking about, that was big because, like you said, everybody got this, and there was actually a very early research when they were talking about this, the TB medication. What I can't remember what it was called. And it was because that they were saying that this disease is not moving as fast or is not prevalating as fast as it's doing here because of that TB. But there's a TB vaccination that we got.
BCG,
whatever, BCG. Yeah, it was polio, whatever, that whole vaccine anyway.
It was a combo, yeah.
Yes, and the funniest thing is that the way we ended up getting that vaccination is that they were using Africa as a guinea pig. So the Western world never got it. Okay, that's the reason why this thing is traveling the way it's traveling. Now, whether it has something to do with that vaccination, it's yet to be proven. But I can tell you this, it's real. The other thing is that's really shocking to me is I still don't, and maybe this is the skeptic in me, I don't understand how they came up with a vaccination or a vaccine in such a short time. Yet we have diseases that have been here time immemorial that cannot, that they haven't figured out how to fix. Nixon. That to me still does not make sense.
Nixon, I answered that. We answered that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I came late.
Yeah. So they have been on this vaccine itself, the mRNA has been in the works for over 20 years. They just tweaked.
For how long?
It was being made for cystic fibrosis, AIDS, and cancer.
Oh, okay. So it's something that's been in research.
Yes.
So they just modified it a little bit.
Yes.
So Nixon, when people start throwing words like those,
no,
quiet. When people start throwing words like those, you step back.
Well,
Yeah,
but don't bring GV up and putting dirt in your wounds. Come on.
But anyway, Nick, what I was
Yes.
telling, I think somebody else just got it right. I was saying that, of course, Corona, I'm a clinician and Corona is real. There's no
Yes.
question about it. And I'm very sad because I hanged with the Kebadi when he was sick and he could not tell me. And
That he
thank
was
God,
sick.
and he's my friend. And he
just throwing the man under the bus.
Well, Kebadi, next time now you have to put your mask when I meet.
No, tell him to bring his vaccination record.
I have them. I have everything. Whatever you need, I have everything. I have everything.
I need that. But Nick, what we are trying to understand is why the rate of the infection.
No, I think, I know, in all honesty, they won't give Africa credit, but I honestly think the reason why that disease has not, perpetuated like it has done here has something to do with that vaccination. There has to be. There is nothing else that makes sense. There is nothing else.
No,
I necessarily don't think it has anything to do with the vaccine. I think it has something to do with the immune system.
Yeah.
Personally, I started getting sick when I landed in this country because
Hello, Sam. Hello.
Oh, I was like, is it me?
He just muted himself. Some technology is very challenging to him.
I think once you compromise your immune system here, it opens up your body and it makes you susceptible to other diseases.
No, you know what, Sam?
It has something to do with the immune system.
I agree, because even by virtue, I don't know how many of you guys have traveled across the country, but I can tell you this for a fact. For a country that has 300 million people plus, I don't understand how there is such a food surplus in this country. It's important. The land itself, the production does not make sense. So obviously, yes, you screw up with your immune system if you start eating all these $2 chicken or whatever the case is, because you start looking at when you start doing a little bit of research on like food systems. Really, there are some things that like I've completely refused to eat anymore, and it's not because of it's because of what I found out. There is no way. We used to grow chicken at home. Okay, kawaida kienyeji chicken. Those things used to last like at least 2-3 months before they're sold. Here, kuku grows in 7 days, buona. I mean, how do you justify that?
Yeah.
So what do you eat?
So Kevali, I have a question for Kevali. I have a question for Kevali. Are you still the moderator?
Oh, no, we all are. Of course, I'm the moderator.
Are you still the host, or we have taken over?
No. This is a free for all, folks. Honestly speaking, my goal today was this. I'm trying to create a platform that we can just start to share. The goal today was politics, and maybe we're gonna get there. It looks like we're 17 of us, but the thing is this: we're talking about a current affair. All right. So what we're doing is fine, Mondia. I think it's fine. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. And for those of you who haven't watched the show from yesterday, I asked a lot of questions, and the experts didn't have a lot of the answers. Even for them, like I asked a few questions, just the basic questions in terms of, what is this whole, like, listen, if I have the vaccination, if I'm traveling, do I have to go and get it? Do I have to go and get, do I have to be tested? I asked questions that pertain to issues that have to do with, the immunity, if I have the virus and I'm cured, what does that say about my body and how prevalent am I? There were a lot of questions we asked yesterday that are still up there.
Yeah, Kivadi, maybe I can make a slight contribution on that. Number one, research shows that if you come down with COVID, your immunity is only good for 5 months.
Yeah, so
that's point number one. Point number two, you can also have a vaccine as a booster, even if you have had COVID. That is, even if you are having those antibodies in your system, you can still have a booster in form of a vaccine. Number three, having had a vaccine does not mean you cannot contract the disease. What it means is you can contract the disease, but it will not have an effect on you because you are immune already.
Yeah.
But you can become a super spreader and kill people. it means you can still shed those viruses, irrespective of whether you have been vaccinated or not. And this will continue until the entire community or the entire population goes up to between 75 and 80%. That's when we get what we call herd immunity, meaning that almost every person has been vaccinated. So the virus has nowhere to go, has nowhere to travel, and after a while, it will just disappear.
Okay. All right, these are new revelations. These are all new revelations. The thing is, and I'm going back to some of the questions that are being questioned here, and I think the thing with COVID, as opposed to maybe HIV, as opposed to anything else, it's just the way that it's dealt us as a population. It's taken some serious toll on the world in general, and that is why I think it's at the peak. I mean, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie, and that's why I think all the projections right now. So how do we figure it out? Can we mute our phones? Can we mute?
No, it's mute. Where? How? Mute. Who's the moderator? Mute Mambo's phone. I mean, what here? Mute phone.
Yeah. So, hello?
Yeah, Mondia. That's Mondia.
Yeah. Now, mute him.
Oh, Joseph International?
Yeah.
In the
So I think Dr. Kiongera, I think and I think everyone is in agreement. It's how hard we've been hit. This pandemic is astronomical, and so the rush is it's unproportionate. It doesn't really make sense from the perspective of what we're trying to cure in such a short change of time. It's been hit so hard. There's been nothing like this ever.
It's because it's a respiratory. Try and try and hold your breath for even a minute.
Yeah.
That's where it attacks.
Okay.
It attacks the lungs. It's a respiratory infectious disease, which is highly contagious.
Okay.
As opposed to AIDS, which is also a viral disease, but which can take up to a year before it starts manifesting itself in you, or maybe in a person who has contracted it. That's the difference.
I like that. I don't know. Yeah. So, like I said, even my guests yesterday, they had good answers, but they didn't have the answers we're looking for. Everyone is scrambling, trying to find a solution, and therein lies where we, as a community, as a world, globally, we're scared. It's like I said, mine was very mild, extremely mild, and I have people with me who got infected at the same time, who couldn't get out of bed.
When was
How did that work?
When was that? I got mine in March last year. I was like the second week of March last year. I contracted. Mine was mild. Not sure how yours was. When was yours?
Mine was January 5th, January 6th this year, a few weeks ago.
Mine was like the beginning of everything. So
so you were like the beginning. You're the guys who, because COVID didn't come to the US until February, March, right?
Right. It came around that time, yeah.
Yes.
March,
so you're a pioneer. You're one of those guys who basically had it before anyone knew what COVID was.
No, we knew then. Around March, everyone knew.
Because I remember traveling to LA in end of February when the rugby was there and everyone was talking about it. And then I'm not sure if I actually got it when I went to rugby in Los Angeles, but it's so crazy. But at that time, no one cared about it. It used to be like 5 people in the US and no one cared about it. And it really so hard to know where I caught it.
And how bad was it for you, Imasi? How bad was it for you?
Mine wasn't. I never even felt it. It's just my family felt it, and then we were tested, and they're like, "Oh, we have it."
Oh, you tested positive.
My family complained about it. We all went testing, and like, "Oh, we have it," and I never felt it myself.
Oh, wow. So, Dr. Kyongera, I mean, like these strains. I mean, what's? I mean, no one. We don't. No one has a true answer to how. I mean, I have friends of mine. Like I said yesterday, I have friends of mine, my age mates back in Kenya. One of them was intubated for almost 5 weeks. I'm talking about ventilator. I'm talking about it was being called like things were bad, like really, really bad. This was last summer. I'm talking about July last year. You know, and we've lost people right here, you know, our home state. We've lost a lot of folks right here in Massachusetts for those that live here, Kenyans. Like how is it our bodies just react differently, or?
Yeah, they do. Because to some people it targets the lung cells, and once it gets into the mitochondrial cell of the lungs, it starts replicating like crazy. Like a speck of a virus will go into, will find its way into a cell, and then within maybe 12 hours it will explode into maybe 1,000. And then it would infect all the other cells within the vicinity of the lung. And before you know it, you're drowning in your own fluid.
Dr. Ali, quick question. There's somebody on YouTube who want to know how long does the vaccine last once vaccinated?
It's out. Nobody knows. The jury is still out there. People are saying maybe 2 years. Others are saying 3 years. This is a new thing. Nobody knows. Anyone who tell you that they know, they'll be lying.
No, but when you talk about vaccine, they're actually encouraging people to take it twice, right?
I heard that yesterday. I heard that.
Yeah, except there's another one that's coming in the market, Johnson, which is just a one shot.
I heard about that too yesterday. Yes, I heard about Johnson as well.
Yeah.
Then with the UK strain, then the South Africa strain, no one knows anything, right?
Well, they are still saying that it is effective to the protein strains of either or. But again, there's no data to show how efficacious it is, because all the tests and the studies were done on COVID-19, not the new strains that have reappeared of late.
So, Dr. Ari, what does the future hold? What do you think the next this spring into the summer, between now and June, July?
Vaccine. They have to aggressively vaccinate everyone until we attain what you call herd immunity. Within a very short, within maybe a 2-year spell, which means after that the virus will have nowhere to go. It will just die off. But we have to do that. We have to be vaccinated, and the level is between 75 and 80% of the population. In America, they are talking about maybe 180 to 185 million people.
Wow.
But when you talk about vaccination too, it's kind of like no one knows who should take it, because people like Alzheimer's are dying when they take it. No one knows if a pregnant lady should take it or not. So
it does, like for example, the flu vaccine. I mean, there isn't much difference, except this one is more efficacious because it has a 95% level of efficacy in terms of protecting somebody after you have it.
Okay, for my sake, Doc, when you say efficacy, can you, for my sake, what do you mean by efficacy?
That means that studies show it is effective in blocking those protein virus into penetrating the body cells.
Okay.
As opposed to the seasonal flu vaccine, its efficacy is just about 40%, which means that you can get the shot and still come down with the flu.
I'm seeing Samia saying you throw $7 billion to a problem, you get a quick solution. That's it. What do you think about that, folks?
Yeah, but no. Remember, it has been in the works.
It was there. They didn't. Well, I agree. What they are doing in terms of distribution, in terms of getting people to put the vaccine to people's arms, it costs money. The logistics. So, and you're talking of the global population, which is about 7 billion. And it's supposed to be free because it's being paid for by the governments, respective governments. I think this is a project. It's almost like a global project. So
they're charging. They charged my insurance.
They did. Oh,
Okay, the way we
Because
were given,
I
they
know they're
sent
asking.
CVS.
I know they're asking for people's
Yeah, the way
insurances.
they sent
But
CVS to my building,
uh-huh.
and if you had insurance,
Mm-hmm.
they had to charge your insurance, and
If
they
you
were
didn't,
charging, I think, $91.
but if you didn't have it, then that is it.
It was free.
It is free.
But
Yeah.
if you had it, you had
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were
They'll ask you whether you have your
costing
insurance
that
card and
with
yeah.
HR.
Yeah. 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 But it's not called payment.
No, no, because it's preventative, but it
Yeah.
depends on
Yeah.
how your
Yeah.
insurance
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Mine is
Yeah.
that is counted as
Okay.
preventative.
Okay.
I wanted to say something a little. I haven't
Hello,
talked.
hello, Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, how are you? How are you, my brother?
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something little. I'm a nurse by profession. Sorry, I'm a nurse by profession.
First responder. Thank you.
Yeah. And I saw the people who died of COVID, especially in the month of March, April, May there in my facility, the people who had the comorbidities. Comorbidities are you have like diabetes, you are hypertensive, you have kidney failure and all those things. All those people are the ones that died. If you have a healthy body, somehow you're able to fight the disease. But all those people who had all those, and especially in the late stages, all those people, majority of them died. We had a couple of them die. And I want to say here that my husband is also a nurse. He got it. I was with him all through, and I took care of very critical patients, and I have never tested positive. And I thank God for that. I'm just saying. So I'm thinking it depends on how your health is, because there are those people who got it, but they got it mild and they overcame it. And there are those people who got it seriously, but they still overcame it. And there are those that got it.
But Sarah, wait a minute. So here you are. Let's talk about this. I'm glad you're opening up. So you're in the healthcare field. You've been exposed to patients who have COVID. You have a husband who's been afflicted, and yet you have not in any which way, form, or fashion been afflicted. So what are the odds?
I really don't know. I have tested. This must be my 15th time to test, and I've been testing negative. And actually,
could you be a spreader by any chance? Even if you're negative, could you be a spreader?
I don't know.
If it is
Probably
false,
have a health card.
no. If it's false negative, she can be a super spreader. She can spread it. Yes.
And that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking here, Sarah.
I really don't know, but I have my kids here who are like, my daughter is a severe asthmatic. She hasn't had it. I have another daughter too who has the same thing. She hasn't got it. My son is here. He hasn't got it. So apart from my husband who got a mild case of it, none of us has gotten it. That could be what you're talking about. I really don't know, but I got Moderna yesterday. And apart from being sore in my arm, there's nothing else that I got. I mean, I'm okay. What I'm seeing from other patients who have tested positive before, when they get something like Moderna, they're coming up with symptoms of, like, in actual fact, all those in my facility who got the Moderna, they're saying that the effects they are getting from Moderna are severe. They are more severe than how they felt when they tested positive for COVID. That's all I can say about that.
Well, thank you for your insight. This thing is complicated.
It is complicated. No, it's true. It's complicated.
I
got the vaccination
on the other
side.
Mike, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, sorry.
So I got the vaccination for Moderna, and I did not have anything. I got my vaccination on December 31st, and I did not have any side effect. Nothing. So I just want to say it's good for us to talk about it, but I did get my vaccination and no effect. I'm going to get the second one next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be very honest. I'm having some mild symptoms.
Really? After the vaccination?
Yes, after the vaccination yesterday. Slight dizziness and the ambient sore is common to everyone, but being lightheaded, that has been going on since yesterday to this very minute as I'm seated here. But
well, I'll say you're 30 years older than Mike. Maybe that's the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, something foreign has been introduced to your body, so your body has to cope up with that, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask. So are we for Dr. Kiangera? Are we? Would you advocate for vaccination?
Oh yeah,
Openly?
absolutely. No ifs or buts.
Okay.
Forget about those conspiracy theorists who are coming up with all manner of weird theories about vaccination. We should all have it.
You should have it.
Yeah.
No, I've got a question for Dr.
So on that note, Mr. Bonds.
Yes.
You know, we've been on this topic for about 57 minutes. Do you want to switch gears after Amasi asks his question? You know,
well, this topic has been solid. It's been solid with 17 of us. Like I said, you're my guy on the ground. What are you seeing? What traffic do we have? You tell me. We're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing good. I think this being the pilot, you know, we're doing good. So I think we should jump on to the politics after Dr. Ali answers the Mercy question.
How many people do we have right now, Al? What are we looking at?
You know, there has been 60 views already. There is about 14 people who are live watching. You know, but you know, the average watch minutes is about 10 minutes right now.
So let me say this: as Doctor, go ahead, answer the question, and I'm going to pitch it. So go ahead. What was the question? What was the question that was asked? I lost my thread here. What was the question?
No, the question that I wanted to ask was: so, had COVID-19. I tested and I have all the antibodies. Do I still need to take the vaccine?
You do, because studies are showing that post COVID infection, you're only good for 5 months, and then after that, the immunity starts waning down. The antibodies start waning down, which means that after a while, it's going to wash out and you'll be exposed. So treat it as a booster.
But I was positive in March. It's been months.
Yeah.
The antibody still says that I'm good. So that's more than 5 months, right?
I know it's more than 5 months, but again, it depends on, from person to person. Yeah. But the people have been encouraged that even if you have had COVID-19, it's to your benefit if you can have a vaccine as a booster to further enhance your immunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, folks, listen, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you. You know what? This mission we have here, this ADC family, with 17 of us, we're under 20 of us, is because of you guys. We have decided to do something different, something provocative, something new. It's borrowed, and it's all about honestly creating an awareness and just trying to find a consensus, we as Africans. And, I haven't been able to broach yet. We haven't been able to broach outside of our Kenyan community. It's going to take a while, but the goal someday will be there. But I'll tell you something, we have enough of a forum, even within our Kenyan community, to be able to propagate what we're trying to do here. And once again, it's just about an awareness. It's about bringing everything we live, think, dream about, touch, and talk about it and bring it to the forefront. And it's easier said than done. I'll tell you that for a fact. It's easier said than done. But I'll say one thing here. Your support has been absolutely out of this world. We are 5 months into it. We're still in diapers. We're still trying to figure ourselves out. But I'll say this for a fact, as your host, I am so I'm excited every time when I go to the studio, and especially when I asked the last question the last time when I was like, okay, what can we do better? What can I do better? And Sam Thugi, oh my God, Nixon Wiruri, you guys came in with some heavy points. Some of them were directed to me, DM-wise, they were personal. Others were on the forum. And I'm paying attention. We are paying attention. We have something here that we can propagate. And I'll tell you this. Okay, fine. Yes, at the end of the day, does Kivadi want to monetize this? Yes, I won't lie to you. I would, and I will over time. But that's not but that's not what it is all about, guys. You know, I've lived here long enough. I've lived here basically pretty much longer than most of you, if not any of you. I've grown up as a young adult in this United States of America. Now I'm a middle-aged man with a family of my own, with grown children, and it's time for me to give back. And this thing we're trying to propagate, ADC guys, it's about us to tell our stories, and your involvement is what's going to be critical, and we know that for a fact. And my biggest challenge, once again, is, you know, I think we're doing some valid things. But when I get 2 comments, when I get 3 comments, 4 comments, it's like, what can I do better? You know what? And it takes a while. And my producer Ben, I don't know whether Ben is watching. Ben tells me, based on his experience in our business, in this business of social media, we're doing better than maybe 80% of most. And I get it. But I'm a go-getter. And the thing is, we know our community, we know us Kenyans, we know each other. So this is only the beginning. And today is really another beginning for us. This is, and I want to thank Mr. Al here, Aloysius, Gashero, Awero, you know, just to broadcast this. And it's all about us. It's all about us, you know. Subscription, so people don't know, you know, maybe subscription means that, oh, they're gonna bother me, I'm gonna get all these whatever. Guys, a subscription will not, you're not gonna be bothered at all. You're not. It's not gonna bother you. You're not gonna, you know, you wake up at 2 a.m. with whatever. It's all part of this game. As a matter of fact, our end game is not even YouTube. Our end game, folks, is honestly getting you to now to go into audio. That is where we want to get people to, audio. That's where the players are playing, you know, audio, listening into the audio mode of things. So, but it's all about relevance. And for relevance, I need your participation. You know, we talk about stuff, but I cannot be the person who is, I need you guys to come up and volunteer yourselves, volunteer people who can come and talk about these intricate issues. And when once I signed up for this, I'll tell you this, it was an 18-month project in terms of, for us is to even know what we're doing right. It's only been 5 months. It'll be 6 months at the end of this month. And I'll tell you this, we're doing okay. But we can do better than we are doing. So today is the beginning of a new agenda. All right. So I know today the goal was politics. I see Patrick Ganga, and I want to meet Patrick Ganga. He's here. I can see he's logged in, and I see my guys there. But we've talked about we've talked about COVID and everything else. But today, at the end of the day, honestly, guys, for those of you who made this commitment, I want to hear from you who are here today. What can we do better? How can we facilitate better? What can African diaspora connect us, all of us? What can we do better just to get this to the forefront for our community, as Kenyans, as Africans? And I want to go with that. We won't even get to politics Monday. Don't worry about politics today. It will come. But today, I want to talk about those of us who are in right now. What can we do better? What can ADC do better? What can Kevadi do? What can your host do better? I'd like us to start from there, guys. It's an open forum, it's open mic. Let's talk.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. So I think, and I just wrote there in the chat, I think one of the things you can do in order to get input from people who watch and those potential viewers is if you can create one of those survey monkeys survey. I don't know if you're familiar with it. So absolutely. it's a free way to generate a survey, and you can phrase it any way you want. I did it for another organization last week. So I recommend if you can do that, because people can enter any information, they can answer those questions, and can provide you a lot of input. It only takes them a few minutes to do that.
Survey Monkey, Alice taking notes. I know Survey Monkey. I know it very well. It's been used in the past, and I will definitely look into that. Thank you, Dan. Anyone else?
Bonds. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
My take is there's one thing that we all have to agree, that whether we are here in the States, that we are Kenyans.
Yep.
And ADC can become a mouthpiece for people in the diaspora, what is going on in Kenya. We are one of the most important segment of Kenyans that are outside Kenya.
True that.
And this is measured by the amount of money that we remit back to Kenya.
Yes, sir.
Remittances. And we can use this as a platform to make sure that we push agendas that that will help us at some point in time when we go back to Kenya. Because ideally, I know we are really, some of us are really rooted here. We are deeply rooted here. And whether we are going to go to Kenya, we shall never completely uproot ourselves, completely out of this place. But it is important that we use this forum to be able to come together and articulate issues that we shall be able to push back home, because we are really the forgotten group.
So what you're saying?
So Dr. Ali, you mentioned about the remittances. The debate going on in Kenya about BBI, Hasara versus Dynasty. There's also another debate about the taxation of the remittances. What do you think about that? The money that gets sent to Kenya, the politicians want to tax it.
Yeah, the sad part is that Kenya, and I'm sure maybe we have a tax person, within the group, is that Kenya does not have a policy or an agreement with the U.S. government in as far as taxation is concerned, which means that we might end up suffering double taxation, whereby you're taxed here, and then once you send that money back home, you still get taxed. That is a very good thing that we can really make sure that we fight to make sure that we are not taxed twice.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But again, let me ask you this. Let me ask this, if I could interject on that, right? So, Dr. Kangera, I hear what you're saying, and I'll be honest with you, diaspora as a whole, has become the biggest foreign exchange earner for the country, right? We're the guys, if diaspora decides, screw Kenya, basically, the economy comes to a halt. However, what I feel, and I really need to understand, or I feel is, like you said, most of us are rooted here. Of course, some of us are. I mean, our kids grew up here. This is our life. We live here. If we're going back to Kenya, we're going to retire. Instead of going to Florida, we just go to Nairobi. That's all. But how do we make the government understand that, because this is the thing. No matter what we do, the moment we'll still keep pushing money. How can we come down as a group and say, you know what, before we send any more money, the government has to give us a spot. They have to sit down and listen to our needs, because these guys are very, very good at what they do.
But Nixon, yes. Where are we sending our money? You're sending your money to your shosho, your cousin, your brother. You're not sending money to build bridges. You're sending money to your family.
I understand that, but also not only that, but I'm also sending money because I want to buy my retirement home. I'm sending money. So the point of the point of the matter is this, right? Yes, I know if I don't send, my Guka and my Shoshu and my whoever will suffer. I get that part.
Yep.
But the thing is this: if we continue with that mentality, Chris, we'll never change. Because I will still want to support my family. You want to support yours. They want to support yours and everybody else. But the minute you send that wave, right, and that money hits Kenya, the revenue is still coming through. You're still moving the economy. So to the politician in Nairobi, let me tell you something funny I understood about these politicians. And it's across the board. When they're in Nairobi, he wants you to recognize he's a big dog. You understand what I'm saying? It's like there's this whole ego mentality. The minute they come here, oh, he's your best friend. It's a whole cycle. So they already know how to play the game. When you go to abroad, settle down, be with them. When the minute you go back in, it's a whole different story. The problem is these people will never listen to us. So forums like this are important because the more we start talking about these things, the more we start saying, you know what, we demand change. Let me give you a good example. See what happened in Egypt, right? Egypt, there was a revolution caused there by somebody tweeting, some kid who just through Twitter. In Nairobi, we've tried to do that. You have the, giving credit to where it's due, whether you agree with his philosophies or not.
Are you talking about the Arab Spring?
Well, correct. I forget what it was, but
Arab
the whole
Spring
thing
was Egypt, was Egypt,
Morocco.
was Libya.
It was Morocco.
Morocco, yes.
Morocco.
Yes.
It started in Morocco when somebody banned himself up because he couldn't get a job.
Correct. So now that's what I'm talking about. It's gotten to a point where we can't feed everybody. You get what I'm saying? And then you have a president who is going to stand up and say, oh, you know what? We're losing. 1 week he says, I own this government. Everything that's running this government is all me. Then the next week tells you that this government, we're losing 2 billion shillings a day. How the hell do you have control of what's happening and yet you expect me to keep pushing and pushing and pushing? They've realized that if my dad needs medication, right, I can make a phone call and either get him here, right, or send the money that they need to have him taken care of. So we have to change that.
And Nixon, you are now looking at the camera. You're looking at your screen where we are.
It's fine. That's fine. Let him what he wants to look at.
Yeah, I even have a better.
Can I jump on this?
He's talking to his camera like this.
I'm gonna go back. I'll go back to Mondia's comment earlier today on the forum. You know, I'm what you call. I personally, I'm a political apathetic. Politics to me is a very dirty game, and I really hate politics. I totally detest politics to the core of my life. But that said, Nixon, I don't care what Uhuru and his people are doing, but I care about my Shaggy from the same village of Nganda. When our cousins call us and they have no school fees, or someone is sick, or they want a borehole, whatever, that is what I'm all about.
And that's what I'm trying to explain. That's exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. The thing is this, right? Unless us as a diaspora, you find a way of uniting ourselves and we make a voice and say, you know what? We need representation. Okay? This will never change. It will never change, Kali. Because at the end of the day, when your cousin calls and says, oh, by the way, my kid got kicked out of school because of $30, you're not even going to let that conversation, Maliza, right? Yet, school is supposed to be free, okay? When you go to a dispensary and you're told, oh, no, you have to go back home and buy an exercise book because that's your medical card, yet we have fiber and computer money that was supposed to be already, all these things are supposed to be in the system, right? That's what I have a problem with.
Yep. That's the thing. Yeah.
We're gonna send money, but we're gonna send them money. We're gonna uplift them.
Okay, now are you gonna let Cousin Kefali die?
No.
Exactly.
No.
But again, you're failing to see what I'm trying to tell you. We need to find a way of saying, you know what, enough is enough. The diaspora needs a vote. Okay? Like, let me give you a good example. I can guarantee you right now that if we were allowed to vote, if the diaspora at large was allowed to vote, okay, we would not have half the leadership we have in Kenya. I can promise you that. No matter how much money I can promise you that. You know why? Because we know better.
But that system is rigged. They'll still rig it, brother.
Well, this is the problem. Well, that's fine. They'll do it the first 2-3 years, but then guess what, right? Now, once you start getting to that point, that's where people now start investing their time. I call Mike, I tell him, Mike, listen, this is ridiculous. You're in IT, I do security. Let's go. We'll offer our services and make sure that safe doesn't get hacked. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. The thing is, we don't have enough motivation to do this. Let me tell you something, right? They talk about Israel. As unfair as Israel is and whatever they do, every male every male Israeli citizen, wherever they are in the world, they can be recalled to go back home to fight for their country, and they will drop everything to do that.
Let me hear from Patrick Nganga.
Yeah.
Let me hear from Patrick Nganga. Karibu.
Okay. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm here in Dallas. Good to connect with all of you guys. Yeah, good stuff. I appreciate that, and I like what you're doing, Kevadi. I think as a whole,
Dallas in the house.
For real. Big text.
I know.
Yes. And you know, Kevadi, what you are saying about not wanting to be, not so much involvement in politics. That's where I was. The people who know me, and she's across the street from me here. The people that know me know I'm a business guy. I've always considered myself to be a business guy. I'm going to be a community to make money. We do things. I try to stay away from politics.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that has taught me with the Trump administration was that when folks like you and I go quiet, when people just keep quiet and allow the loudmouths and the guys who are easily motivated to do crazy stuff are the only ones who are participating in politics, we end up losing as a whole. You know, what triggered Trump? If I were Trump to win the nomination, the Republican Party nomination, it only took him getting 30% of the Republican voters in the primary. You guys can remember, right? All the other 70% was split among all the other politicians. They all end up losing 30%. He was able to get in.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was a 50-50 chance of winning, and he ended up taking it. So the bigger point here is this. And I was going back to why I really like what you're doing with ADC. We can't just go quiet and say we're going to allow this thing be taken over by anyone. I like what Nixon is saying about us uniting. The one thing that, the politicians back home, the policymakers back home will never want us to unite. They'll never want us to get a vote. They'll never want us to have a representation of any kind, is because they want you guys to stay divided. You guys are in Boston. We are here in Texas. We have other people in Seattle, other people in LA. We stay disintegrated as that. And that way, we are not able to get anything going. We don't have any traction. Like you say, if I get a call right now from my mom saying, I'm going to visit Shosho, throw something so that I can go visit her. I'm not going to ask, will this wave be taxed? I'm just going to throw something. So we can't easily say we're going to stop the remittances from going in, because the need is there. But we can start this journey. We can start by uniting. We can start by having this forum right here. We can start by saying, we're going to participate in the politics in Kenya. That the guys who are running for office, even though we might not vote, even though we might not be there to actually influence another fellow guy, on the street, right now, social media is king. We have to participate. We have to be on their Twitter. We have to be responding to their messages when they post this stuff on Facebook. And nowadays, they use a lot of bloggers. So when these bloggers throw all these crazy shenanigans, we push back. We say, hey, man, wait a minute. You can't come and tell us all the things you're going to do when really there's no chance of you doing these things. You're just throwing hot air. We have to take a stand. We have to participate. We have to get involved. But we gotta figure a way to getting it.
I like that.
Yeah, to support what Patrick is saying.
Can I echo a little bit, Doctor? I know. Can I intervene a little bit?
Politician, Mr. Michael. Yes.
I want to echo a little bit what Patrick just talked about, because he have talked a lot about some real key things that we need to do, not only in Kenya but here in America. I'll tell you this, Black Americans here in America, what they have done, they have coming together, and what they do, they come up and support the politicians who are running for any kind of post. I'll give you an example, right? The mayor of Boston, when he was running for whatever he was running, right? The blacks came in, you give money, whatever they want to give your money up to. And you know what? The mayor comes up and says, you know what? What do you guys want? So as Kenyans, if we come up together here in America, right? Whatever town you're living in, and we come up and you say, okay, fine, you know what, we're gonna, the $10, the $100 that we always give out to pre-weddings and that kind of stuff, right? We come up and we put that money, 1,000, you give out to the politicians here in America. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a voice.
And one thing about you, Michael, you're very involved in the civic duties in Boston, and I want to give credence For those that don't know Michael Dongo, this brother, he goes out of his way. He represents us as Kenyans, as Africans in the civic duties of Boston. And I give you credence for that, Michael. So tell us, I mean, what have you seen with your involvement?
I see is, this is what I can tell you.
Yeah.
In Boston, I did try to do a lot of things by myself, but you cannot be able to do things by yourself. We have to come up together and be able to come up and say that this is what we are looking for. Even if it's contracts, even what we're trying to do, even Kifadi, what you're trying to do, we can all come together and say that, come with a common goal. And we can get whatever we want out of any kind of city, even if it's law or Lawrence or whatever. I always kind of challenge my brothers in law, and I always ask myself, why don't we have a mayor who is a Kenyan in law? That's the biggest challenge I've always given. For the last 3 or 5 years, I've always said that. Because I don't understand why we don't have a mayor who is a Kenyan. Because that is how things kind of start getting moved.
Or even a councilman, even a mayor, a councillor.
A councillor. We need to have some of people. But we need to come up together as Kenyans and actually support each other's and come up with a common goal.
Well, Michael, I'll tell you, let me
try as much as we can, but I'm telling you this. If we are all by ourselves doing our own things, yes, we make our own money in our own way. But if we ever came up together and we say that we're going to have some common goals, we have some people who are in the mayor's office, we understand where the contracts are coming from. I'll guarantee you the same stuff that is happening in Kenya would happen in here.
Well, Michael, I'll help you. Let me tell you this, right? And thank you for your input. But I can tell you,
Nixon, it was my turn.
Oh, my boy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I lost you guys for a minute. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I agree with what Michael said, and I also agree with what Patrick said. And I have a different take when it comes to what our host said, that he hates politics almost with a passion.
I do.
But I can tell you one thing for a fact, my dear Chris. If you hate politics with a passion, then you should never complain when you're led by fools, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And politics, everything that we do is politically driven.
I understand.
Both at home as well as at a national level. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I would want us to eschew or to avoid as members of the diaspora is to be sucked into the fightings that goes on back home. We can make a lot of noise to somehow draw their attention about our existence, but the last thing we would want is actually to be caught in between. Let them reach out for us. Let's add value. Let's show them we are valuable by refusing to be aligned to whatever kind of formations that are there in the country. For example, Nixon talked about sending money for medicine for the elderly. The BBI has that. It addresses that, whereby it says that the NHIF will be strengthened, and anyone who is above 65, whether you contributed or not, you'll be part of it. And it doesn't matter what kind of hospital bill you accumulate, NHIF will still pay. So all I'm saying is this: let's not allow ourselves to be used as a football in between the political formations that are in Kenya. They cannot continue using us by sending them money, and we also allow them to use us.
Dr. Kyongera, do we have a voice, Dr. Kyongera? Do we have
No, we don't,
voice?
because we don't have a voice. We don't have a voice because we are not organized. That's the magic word: organize, 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 organize.
Kivadi,
okay, Mondia. Yes, Mondia, go ahead.
Because you are today you are very poor moderator, but it's all right. You are my friend. First of all, what do you call this guy?
I thought this one was talking.
Somebody has disabled my video. You cannot see me.
Yeah, because you're not watching.
Well, again, it's technology. We understand. Before you figure out your video, two things.
No, it is saying.
Let me. Mundia, I promise you.
Go on.
Okay,
go on,
thank
go
you.
On, go on.
This is the thing, right? Dr. Ari, I hear what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. However, these are my two takes on that, right? One, even when you look at that BBI project, and exactly I'll go back to the same exact example that you gave, that, the people over 65 are the ones, they're going to be taken care of. Look at the population, same number we were talking about, the 47 million, right? And tell me what percentage is over 65. That is not what the problem is. The problem is with the youth. How do you empower these kids so that they can find ways to sustain themselves? And I say that because I take part in a project. And by the way, I'll be coming to your office because I need to see you for a check. But anyway, I have this charity that I run called Food for Education, and we raise money for a lunch program for primary schools and kids in Kenya. I think we've talked about it. You know about it. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But my point is, again, coming from the diaspora side, when this project started in 2014, we were feeding 30 kids a day. Now we are feeding 22,000 in one sitting, in one day, right? How are we able to do it without the government? You follow what I'm saying? The money is there, but this money is diverted into pockets, so it doesn't end up doing anything for anybody. The problem we have in Kenya, and this is what I was talking about, having a voice. Having that, finding a way to unite ourselves so that we can be able to have a common goal to be able to vote will be very important. What Michael was talking about contracts and all that good stuff. Perfect example. Another very good example. The problem with us Kenyans, and I will tell you this, let's just say it the way it is that everybody is greedy. Everybody wants to work for themselves. And anything, even as a businessman, I can tell you this for a fact. I don't care what business you do. You can come and open an office right next door, and both of us will eat. Everybody's customers their own. There is enough money in this country to go around, but we've refused to see that one common goal. I can tell you this.
But Nixon,
let me finish.
We're smart.
Yes, we are smart. We are very smart, but the problem is, like I said, we are greedy. Let me give you a good example, okay? And think about this for a second. Look at all the 7-Elevens that you know. Any 7-Eleven you've ever gone into. Who runs those things?
Indians.
Okay. Do you know how they get started? I remember very well. I will never forget. In 1994, at UMass, one of my very good friends was a Mwindi. He came to school, and then right after, towards graduation, he goes like, "Oh, but then what are you doing with your degree? Have you found a job?" Me, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to work for this IT company, blah blah blah." The guy goes like, "Oh yeah, my family put, we combined, and I'm buying a shop in Rosendale." I'm like, "You did engineering to go open a shop?" He goes, no. We sit together as a family, as a community, then we help each other, and we buy all these little 7-Elevens as franchises. That's when I came to know about franchises. I didn't even know what franchises were. But that's what they do as a community. They get together and then they move along. The other day, you guys were laughing at me. It's actually Al who, even you're calling me Bumblebee Givadi. When I came wearing that jacket, like now I'm wearing another one. This is a Masai Kikoi. I have refused to wear clothes by Calvin Klein and Tom Jones and everybody else. You know why?
Why would I laugh at you? Why would I laugh at you?
Listen.
Your laughs are irrelevant. Well, let me go back to what I'm saying.
You are the pro.
Now, my point is this. We need to start finding a way of supporting ourselves.
But let me tell you something, Nixon.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. And Masi and everyone here who is known in that band, that Highland, Mount Kenya Highland Mafia.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Indians. A lot of us are very business minded, especially people from the Highlands, the Mount Kenya Highlands. We are business minded. We are business minded.
Yes.
But the thing about it, it's about us though. The biggest issue is us.
Yes. Greed. Kivadi, if you have a platform like this, okay? You have a platform like this, and by and it's gonna grow. Say, let's assume today we are what, 12, 13, 14 of us, okay? And then maybe the next one, people will be like, "Oh, you guys, we missed a really nice forum. We need to hook up on this thing." The next time you come in, you have 100, 200, 300, right? Okay. Now somebody will start looking at this, says, "Okay, well, you know what? Why is Kivadi doing this well? Why can't I be the one doing?" There is this thing of we refuse to feel good when one of us is doing good. we've always found shortcuts of bringing ourselves down. I don't know why. I don't know where this mentality came from, but I can tell you that is our disease.
So we talk about it. Oh, okay, Monday, go ahead. Monday, go ahead.
Because Nick is like me, he likes talking a lot and it makes a lot of sense. But also the moderators know, or the producer know how to manage our time. But I agree with you, Nick, a lot. But I also see a lot of contradiction in whatever you are saying. Because first of all, we have to manage ourselves here. We have to be organized here. If we are not organized in this country, we cannot be organized in Kenya. So whatever you say about what we want to do in Kenya, if you cannot organize ourselves, I belong to so many political grouping and things like that. And you can see the divide. It's very explicit. We don't even agree on basic. Like this BBI things on that. It's not even on principle. We don't even disagree on principle. We agree on personalities. Yet we are the people who are calling ourselves in diaspora. So about being, and somebody also talked about organization. And even you talked about people being united. So if we cannot be able to agree on the very basic, we cannot go anywhere. So to support what we are saying, before we think about Kenya, let's think about here. And Michael has been echoing that. Let's think how we can be strong here as a community. As a community, so that before we think about Kenya, let's be organized here. Let's support ADC. Let's support anybody who has an venture here. Let's remember what Kikuyu people say. You say that I can open my business here and you open it here.
But Monday, isn't that the problem though?
Monday,
like
can I say something?
Isn't that the
No,
problem?
no, let me go. Let me go there. I'm coming there. First of all, remember. Emasa, you know, I'm not a tribalist.
I want to say something after you, please.
You know that.
Yeah.
So, but what I just use that as an illustration in Kikuyu. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if you look today, the forum today, look at the forum. It's only, I think it's only Emasa who is not from us being that Kikuyus. So what I'm saying get here, yes, I don't know many people, but I know it's only Emasa or two other people. So
quick question. Why
let me finish.
Why are you looking underneath your computer? When your camera is hidden underneath.
So let me say this. So if we can, our problem here is that we are microscope of what's happening in Kenya. We transfer our greediness, we transfer our tribalism, everything to America, and yet we are in America. We are not better than people in Kenya. So
Mondia,
please,
I think
no.
I want to hear, guys. It's almost 11. It's almost 11. I want to hear from Tony Ngare. Tony Ngare, it's almost 11.
Tony Ngare, okay, Kebadi. Tony Ngare is my friend in politics, and he can tell you exactly how the political.
Tony, it's 11 o'clock. Let's be done by 11:30, all of us. Tony, what do you have to say?
Okay, I just joined not so long ago. I don't know, like, what's the debate here? Is it BBI?
We're talking about golf.
Are we talking about golf? Are we talking about? Yeah.
So basically, honestly, the thing here is
no, Imasi was going to say something.
Let him catch up.
Something. Imasi was supposed to be next.
Okay. Did I cut Imasi? Sorry.
All right. Okay. Imasi can go then. Then I can go.
No, I was just going to say that. No, so you guys were making good points. And we were talking about sending money to Kenya. My secondary school, when I send $100 to my secondary school, usually I get tax breaks. But if I send to my mom, I don't get tax breaks. So you guys were bringing up good points about sending money to mom and getting on, which I was listening to you guys. And when you were talking about getting organized and everything, right? We need to find ways of getting organized, because if I have $200,
nice.
Did I mute myself?
Nice.
Can you guys hear me?
Nixon, can you mute? Nixon, mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Jesus.
No,
go ahead,
so the point that I was trying to make is that you guys were talking about getting organized and sending money to Kenya and stuff like that. When I send money to my secondary school, which I sponsor some kids, I get tax breaks. If I send money to my brother, my sister, my aunt, my mom, I don't get tax breaks. So you guys were talking about some good points about sending money to Kenya, and we need to be organized and find ways to get bread, because this country at the end of the year, you have to file taxes and you can get tax breaks. I'm not an accountant, I'm a software engineer guy. So you guys were making points and I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, you guys are making good points. If you guys can say something about like ways that we can get organized, send money to Kenya and get breaks, those are some of the things. I think there's a lot of laws which I think Trump used it to maximum, which some of us are not using it to maximum.
And you must say, Billy, I want to say this honestly. This platform that we are formulating, all of us, honestly, guys, this is how we're going to grow, and we are going to grow each other, and God willing, we're going to have a strong patriotic front if we start to engage one another at this machinani level right about now and discuss whatever is going on. And guys, like I said, man, I have a vision, a huge vision, and I'll tell you this: I have my partners who are my ride or die, who believe in me. But I'll tell you this: if it means at some point I have to do this in my basement where the funds run dry, this thing has to go ahead. We have to find a way to go ahead. Now, Tony, you're a very smart individual. Honestly, one thing that I will fight you to the bone is your support for Ruto. I mean, Tony, like how do you sleep at night supporting that guy? Like how on earth, how Tony, can you honestly, and I'm gonna pick on you, my brother, how are you this guy with all that this guy is gonna bring to what we are? And like I said, I know nothing about politics, but I know bad apples when I see them. Trump was a bad apple. Ruto is a bad apple. Just my 2 cents. Tony, come on, brother.
He's on mute.
Okay.
He's on
there.
mute.
He's back. He's here.
No, I'm right here.
He's here.
I'm right here.
He's
Can
here.
you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know that it was going to be a political debate, but I think I do hear you when like the support for Ruto. I think mine comes from a point of some of the stuff that's been happening back at home in Kenya, and it has a lot to do with the BBI. There are certain things that I'm opposed in the BBI, and I think for those things that I'm opposed in the BBI, and I'm opposed to some of those things because of my values, and I think that's where I align with Ruto. For example, when BBI proposes to delete Article, say, 158 of the Constitution, which provides for security over the tenure of the DPP. So that means that the DPP is now serving under the pleasure of the president. So it's like we are going way back to those days of Moi, when it was a one man says and does everything. I don't want to see Kenya going back to those dark days. I think I liked when Kibaki was the president, and I think Kibaki is going to go in the history of Kenya as one of the best presidents we ever had. I mean, the guy worked well when it came to the economy, and it's not just the economy. I mean, when it came to democracy space, he enlarged that. He left it better than when he came in. Now, come Uhuru, and now he's trying to, chip at the Constitution, just the same way his dad did. So that when you look and you go back to 1963, we had a very good Constitution. By the time he was handing over to MO1, I think the whole thing had been messed up. And then Moi did not stop because what? He happened to learn from the guy who was doing it. Something else that I look at, when you start taking away the security, Tina, for the judges, that means that they can be manipulated, especially when it comes to these graft cases that we are always complaining and talking about. For me, myself, I mean, regardless of whoever is in power, I would like, I don't want to have an imperial presidency, regardless of whether it's going to be Ruto or whoever it's going to be. And for me, those are some of the things that I see right now. And maybe he's going to change, but even if he changes, but the constitution remains the
I
same.
value, you're a man of value, you're a family man, you're a community man. Doesn't he give you the shivers? Honestly, you're a good judge of character, my brother. Doesn't this guy give you the shivers? Honestly?
Kifadi, let me first interject because it would be unfair for Tony, who I have a lot of respect for, as a buddy, as a buddy, as a person that I play golf with. He's talking about the removal of tenure of the DPP, and I'm having that bill in front of me, and it doesn't have anything like that. What we have is clause 35 of the bill proposes to amend Article 157, Director of Public Prosecutions, to enhance the qualifications for appointment as the Director of Public Prosecutions to be the same as that of a judge of the Court of Appeal. Clause 36 says of the bill proposes to repeal Article 158, that is removal and resignation of Director of Public Prosecution, to align the removal and resignation of the Director of Public Prosecutions with that of the constitutional commissions and independent offices. So he still has a tenure of office.
What does that mean? Layman's language, brother. What does that mean?
It means that the president cannot remove the DPP, and that the qualifications of the DPP must be the same as that of judge of Court of Appeal and other statutory commissions or other constitutional commissions that all have tenure of office. Whereby if the president wants to get rid of the DPP, he has to constitute a panel of judges, exactly like it happens with other judges. That's what we have in the BBI. And then the other thing.
But let me just interject just a little bit. You see now, the panel of judges is the same judges who no longer have a security, which means those same judges can be manipulated.
What do you mean?
They can be manipulated. I mean, it's just like, I mean, you see like what's been happening, say like in the cases in the Senate, whereby you have governors that are going into the Senate, because you see what happens is once the MCAs, for example, impeach a governor, then it goes into the Senate, and the Senate either convicts or acquits. And so what they're doing at the Senate is like they can, if they decide, there can be the swift removal of whatever the governor is. But then when you see the way they have done it, they haven't done it on a fair basis. You look at what someone like Sonko was being impeached for. You look at what Governor Waiguru was being impeached for. I mean, it's basically the same stuff. But
Tony, those are apples and oranges.
Most of that stuff is the same.
Yeah,
thing.
in any case,
those are apples and oranges.
Tony is diverting here because
no, I'm not diverting.
Tony. I mean, when you start talking about BBI,
when you have
Ruto has come in and said that he's supposed to be.
When you start to manipulate things,
so why don't
people in charge of the process, then you have a flawed process, and that's what I'm against for.
Yeah, but Ruto has been on a few occasions has said that he supports BBI. So Tony, I think the folks, and this is what your father was reaching at. The folks want to know. Let's say BBI aside, because it looks like somehow all these guys will all agree on BBI. So put BBI aside. Tell us, why should we go for Ruto? Why should we support a guy like Ruto? BBI aside, because I mean it's becoming to be all. I mean it's like it's a done deal for everyone at this point. So without talking about BBI, tell us about Ruto the man.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Go ahead, Tony. What's up?
Okay, I mean, there's so many things, and if you look back, he has a history of success, whether it's in governance. I mean, like one thing I like about the guy coming from a humble beginnings and a humble perspective is that he doesn't get trapped into these celebrity trappings, like the way you'd imagine the presidency of someone like, say, let's give you an example of someone like Raul, who wants to be a celebrity president or a Mudavadi who wants to line up with the so-called dynasties.
My God.
So I mean,
let me ask you this, Tony. No fairness.
Ruto does not have a good record with Kenyans.
well, again, let me ask you this. Mine is very simple.
And then also, see, when you look at Ruto, you see, I mean, he has quite some efforts, I can say, are geared, say, towards involving most of the Kenyans in building a new Kenya. It's a Kenya that and you can see that seed now has been planted. It's germinating, and I think that's one of the reasons why you see everywhere he goes, a lot of the people are showing him a lot. And I think it's a huge confidence builder for the
Tony, let me ask you this. Emase, please,
guys,
2 seconds.
Why you promise
that
we don't know and you want to tell us now?
No. Emase, let me ask you something. Tony, really quick. So Ruto and Uhuru have been in power for how many years now? By the end of their term?
10.
So it depends. It depends. I think that question
10, right?
No.
I'm just talking about the guy. Okay, I'm talking post constitution.
I mean, for the time that they worked together, let's call the first term of 5 years. The second term, I don't really think it counts for Ruto because the guy has been sidelined as soon as the second term began. The guy was sidelined. So let's talk about the first term.
But let me ask you. No, that's okay. That's okay. So my follow-up question to you is this, right? Okay, forget the last 5 years. So what in the first 5 years did they do with Uhuru that you think that making the president, they'll make any changes?
You see, I think one of the things I think they did was that they did manage to make sure that the government of the day was invested in Kenyans from a governance perspective. And I think they were tasked with the first role was to make sure they were going to implement the 2010 constitution. It was the very first time that under Uhuru's presidency, we are going to have the governors and then the devolution of power. And I think they managed to oversee the devolution of power from the central government to the local governments, like under the counties. So I think that was a big achievement. So that's what I'm saying.
But listen, you say it's an achievement. It's not. What you're telling me is like when you have a child and now you're supposed to bring them up, right? You're the parent. That's your responsibility. They had a plan. They have a plan. The constitution says run the government this way. I understand it was the new way to go. But let me ask you this. From that time, tell me one thing they have done in the past 7 years, apart from the Kibaki era, where all those highways we are enjoying now were constructed and planned on during Kibaki's time. That there's nothing to do with Korea. Look at the debt, how much money we are in debt. Okay. Then on top of that, the same government that I don't care whether he was sidelined or not, he was elected to be part of it. If he's not part of it, he should have done the honorable thing and said, you know what, I'm disagreeing with this, just like how my friend, the DC of the deputy governor of Nairobi did. Resign, leave the office, right? Because you've gone two separate ways. So if he's still the vice president of Kenya or deputy president of Kenya, he's as much responsible as the current government. The amount of money we are losing on a daily basis is ridiculous. So you're telling, no, to be honest with you, I mean, again, I can't tell you who you have to vote for.
It's okay, guys. It's 11:15.
Yeah,
we have 15 more minutes. We have 15 more minutes.
The theory that Ruto is the right person for Kenya is the same thing as the
Patrick
statement they say.
I want to hear Patrick. Patrick Ganga. Let me hear from Patrick.
Expecting different results. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Kibaki, can we make it 24/7? I mean, it's our first time.
Same monkeys, different forests.
Thank you very much.
And here's what happens to this group of people when you engage them. The way we engage them now is that they'll tell you the bad things that Uhuru has done. Yes.
No. I mean, like I'm saying what he has done, and I think I haven't finished. Not that Nixon interrupted me. I think he's very passionate about the stuff he's talking about. And Nixon, I just want to let you know, I mean, I'm not very proud of of all the the money in debt that the country is in, especially from the perspective that a lot of the money has come in and it doesn't go to do what it's supposed to do. I mean, a case in point is the COVID money that was lost via KEMSA. But then also at the same time, when you look at how things are handled, and that's one of the reasons why, I mean, like, you see, we used to be told for the longest time that Ruto was the biggest thief in Kenya.
Tony,
But then you see, like,
Tony,
no,
Tony,
let me finish. Let me finish.
we only have,
we don't have, okay,
we only have 5 minutes.
Summarize, please.
Let me ask you, Tony, with all due respect.
I didn't even finish what I was
1992.
so
wait a minute.
You're asking me. You're gonna ask me a question. I didn't even finish what I was gonna say.
1992. Ruto was YK92, which was equivalent to Trump's Proud Boys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't see the connection. I don't see the connection there.
One moment.
I don't see the connection. I mean,
yes,
like,
I'll show you the connection.
How is YK?
I will show you the connection. I will show you the connection.
No.
I'll show you the connection. That is how.
I mean, like, what the Proud Boys are.
One moment.
For,
that's how the first clashes
stand for. And
Tony,
and I'm not
the first clashes.
YK92.
The first political clashes. The first political clashes were in 1992.
If you know the history of YK92, these are guys who got together. They were young.
Oh my God!
They were looking for a way to make money, and also they were looking for a way to be entrenched in the system.
Oh,
and so
that's
revisionist. The Proud Boys. No. The Proud Boys. The Proud Boys. There's no. I don't even see what the connection.
Did you hear? Are you aware that we had clashes in 1992? Do you know who instigated those political clashes in 1992?
Those clashes were instigated by Biwott. Biwott was the total man. He was the guy in charge. He was Moi's right-hand man. Those are the guys who instigated those.
And how about the YK92? Because I was there. I know.
No, the YK92 was a campaign wing of KANU. The only reason why YK92 was formed, and I'll tell you, if you go back to the history and read, and you see, once multipartyism,
I don't have to read the history. I'm part of the history. I was there.
I also know that history. Maybe
no, I was
history,
not.
Like
I don't have to read
history.
I don't have to read the history, Tony.
Story. That's your story.
Tony, I was in my 30s.
My history, right?
I was in my 30s. I was in my 30s then. It's not history. I was part of the history.
No, it doesn't matter how old you are.
I was there.
Like, the facts are the facts. It doesn't matter how you are.
That's revision.
Tony, come on, Tony, you're so
seriously. I mean, if you look, if you look at YK92, the way YK92 was formed, the reason why they ganged up for YK92, because that was the time, like at the inception of multipartyism in Kenya, and Moi risked losing that election. And one of the things that they did when they formed the YK92, they ganged up together. And one of the ways they wanted to find a way that were going to divide the opposition so that it was going to be balkanized into tribal groupings. And that was the only way that Moi could win that election.
How about the Kiamba massacre? How do you explain that?
Yes, so I mean, you can talk about the Kiamba massacre, but I'm trying to tell you the motive behind YK92 is different than the perception you're trying to paint. It was not a good perception because you also ran into a lot of inflation because a lot of money was minted during that time, and that's how someone like not just YK92, there was Ruto, there was these other guys.
Let's do this. Tony. Let's do this. Let's do this.
It's better give us about each of us about 2 minutes or
let's
1
do
minute.
This. We only have 10 more minutes.
I'll say this.
And Tony, by the way, Tony, I want to say this. I know I set you up, but the thing is, this guy that I really regard. But it's something at the back. It always bothers me because I've met you. We have broken bread together. This one area that we totally disagree. So I kind of put you in the spot. I apologize, but you're doing good. 10 minutes. Yeah. Let's get done, guys. It's late in the night. Yes.
I think out of listening to all of these from the beginning, I think I recommend and I would suggest to your group, you guys, I think Kenyans are very passionate about politics back in Kenya.
I think
that. You guys should have a day separate from what you guys are doing right now, to have politics. And I think you have a lot of people who are gonna join that, and they will talk politics about Kenya, because I think Kenyans are very politics about Kenyans politics back in Kenya. But one thing I just wanted to add a little bit, two things. I wanted to add about healthcare. In each community, there's community health centers, which are there. Community health centers are funded by the federal government, right? And they are funded because there's a need of a community health center, right? There was a time I had brought that suggestion back about 2 or 3 years ago, saying about law could be a community health center where we could set up a Kenyan community health center, because there was a need, because there was a lot of Kenyans who are there, and there's a need. But what I can tell you this, community health centers are funded by community health centers, and you can go to a website called Mass League, which is in Boston, and you can see how we can all of us come as community and funder and form a community health center. The reason why I'm bringing that up is a lot of our parents, they come and visit us, and we don't know how they go to the hospitals. Unaanza kutumia your own pesa, all the other stuff. We have our own community health center. We refer our parents there.
Did you listen to the show last night? Lower Community Health Center.
I know Marcy. I know her very well.
Yes,
I know her.
She answered a lot of these questions.
I work with her.
She answered a lot of these questions.
Yeah. So, but I will tell you this: we need to also figure out a way to understand how we can also form our own community health center. The second thing I just wanted to talk about, a lot of us who are here in this group, I can guarantee you, most of us are in high positions. One thing I can ask everybody is this: what have you done to hire another Kenyan and bring up another Kenyan to almost the same level that you are? Personally, I can attest, I have brought a couple of Kenyans, and even some of them who have gone even a higher level than myself. So I will challenge everybody, if we want to actually bring our community up, we need to start with ourselves. We need to start with ourselves. That means if you hear there's an opportunity, or even if there's a marketing opportunity, if they are looking for nurses in your whatever you're working, why don't you bring another Kenyan organization to come in and work there? So I'll tell you this: let's think about ourselves. I'm telling you this: the blacks are doing a lot of things here in America because they are united. We need to start figuring out. I know to corner a little bit problem of ourselves, but you know what? Let's not that should not be a hindrance to us.
Good point, amen.
We should encourage ourselves. Do your own part. We move on. You do your own part.
So Michael, as we're winding down here, Mishoke, as we're winding down, it's almost 11:30, and your points are valid. Okay. And I want to go back also to Tony Ngare. Hey, listen, man, you defended yourself well. We're gonna move on.
Get one day for politics.
Yeah, Barnes. Before we wait down, just a couple of.
I wasn't even done. Okay, go ahead.
Barnes. Just a couple of comments. Can we get some comments about how this platform, about this Rive, interface should be moderated, and how many people should we have instead? Right now we have 13. It's hard to get everybody, to pitch in. So maybe in the next 5 minutes before we wrap up, we can get a feedback.
Yeah, keep going. Don't stop at 11:30. Keep going.
I was saying something.
If you want to stop at 11:30, make it my time. Central.
By the way,
they say
that cigars help against COVID. Where can we get some cigars?
Very quickly. I heard about BBI and the way that they're supposed to be putting money in the NHIF. If they have all that money to put in NHIF, why should they wait for that BBI shit instead of putting it right now? That is the first question. The second question is about community. Somebody said about the community centers. if you're planning on making a community center, you have to go into every village, every community, and contribute to that, and also make it so affordable that people do not need to go to the referral hospitals. So you have to come up with the people working there, the equipment, and all that stuff. So it's a good idea, but just don't plan on just one. If not that, then make one big hospital with the good equipment, and then give the government whatever some competition. That would be good. Number 3, I heard somebody say about referring people, our Kenyan people, into a job. I have referred 5 people in the last 5 months or 6 months. Only one is now working there. They don't even show up. So your name sometimes is tarnished trying to bring these people in, and they don't show up. Our people, what I'm trying to say is our people are our own enemies. So not everybody that doesn't do what they're supposed to do to elevate people. Some people do not want to be elevated. We are our own enemies. So that's all I wanted to say.
Can I answer?
Good point. Good point.
About the community in referring people. So when I was talking about referring, I'm talking about here in America. I'm not talking about in Kenya. So I'm talking about here, the community health centers, starting our own community health centers where we can refer our own parents when they come to visit us. We can be able to give them proper care where we don't have to take them, or we don't even have to spend money to take them.
Grassroots first. Because when they go back to Kenya, where are they going to the hospitals? I am somebody who is sending money every week to support people who are in Kenya suffering from autoimmune diseases. Some of these people have NHIF, and they cannot even use NHIF to buy their medication or do their consultation. So some of them
I will say this. If we have looked at what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about anything about Kenya. So I always talk about it here in America. So if I'm here in America, right, and they get treated, you can always be able to get their medicine from here in their pharmacies. As long as they go to a community health center, trust me, I work in a community health center. If your treatment is here in a community health center, I can guarantee you that you can get prescription for 2 or 3 years, and you can be able to send those prescriptions back in Kenya. I can guarantee you that. So
in the US, the treatment is easy.
Exactly. So I'm not talking about Kenya. I do not talk about Kenya at all. That's gonna be Nixon and
yeah. I'm not. Go ahead.
Let me respond. Let me respond to the NHIF.
Nixon too much, because we are in this program together.
Nixon has
supported money.
Hey guys, this is interesting. I want to hear this.
Let
me respond.
I'm American.
Let me respond to NHIF thing.
You Trump, are you?
I am too. I'm American too.
Let me respond to the NHIF thing. Why? Because you said that how come that they are not funding NHIF today? How will they do it then? It's because right now it's at the whims of the bureaucrats. NHIF
they're wasting the money. They have the money, they're wasting it. It's in
That's
their
what
pockets.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. NHIF will be just like Medicare. It's not going to be left at the whims of bureaucrats. Whereby if you're 65 in this country and you have Medicare, you can even have a knee replacement that will cost you $200,000 and you'll only pay $1,800.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk to anyone. That's what NHIF is being proposed to be, to have that constitutional backing whereby they will not have much choice.
But Daktari, let me ask you this. In all fairness, do you think, in knowing what you know about Kenya, honestly, do you think that's going to be a possibility that maybe even my kids will ever come to enjoy? I don't see it happening.
Nixon, you are an incurable pessimist.
Okay.
Kuna mtu ameambia vibaya. Kuna mtu ameambia vibaya.
I agree. Hey, I'm just saying. I don't know, man. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. It's just
you don't have a comeback.
No, that one. There's no comeback on that one.
No, it's but you know, like in a way, I support Nixon. I support Nixon on that, based on the fact that even right now we have a constitution that we don't follow. So, I mean, what changes that we make in future through any type of document, what assurance do we have that whoever is in charge is going to follow the constitution. I
We
mean, right
can't
now,
give up.
nobody follows the constitution.
We can't give up. We keep
No,
on
that's
trying.
true.
No.
That's what.
You guys
You see
have
that.
been
So
trying.
the thing is,
You say,
I mean, why can't we implement the constitution that we have right now, Dr. Kinyungera? And I think I respect. I know what you're talking about. But then if we cannot respect the constitution and we cannot implement the constitution that we have at hand, I mean, what magic is going to happen at some point down the line to make us
Tony, the constitution is a living document. When this,
but it's not being followed.
When the constitution was promulgated, let me finish. When the constitution was promulgated in 2010, there was no camp that actually took a lot of issue with the old, with the constitution that was being proposed. They were saying 20%, 80% is okay, 20% is not okay. And then after 10 years, this is the time that we have to address that 20% because it's a living document. It's not static. These are not laws of Moses. So if we don't do that, then I don't know when to ever be done if we don't do it now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think, Gifadi, I know your time was waning here, but from my take, from me listening, I mean, looks like there's a lot of topics we can discuss. And today was free for all. You know,
it is.
We talked politics, community health. We talked about fundraising, fielding a candidate, local business, getting organized. So many things, so many ways that we can get, big topics to discuss. And with the timing and the fact that it's the first time we were being going down the weeds and
all over the map.
Yeah, but here's what I would say.
Freestyling.
Because I think today we had said we were going to say a few things about politics in Kenya, the candidates coming up, and Tony, I was hoping he'll get some help from some of the other loud folks in the forum. But they usually scamper when you try to engage them head on. Some of the things that I would say why Ruto is a no-no is because, number one, he tells us about Hustler versus Dynasty. And all along, he has always supported the folks that he considers to be dynasty. He supported Moi. He supported when Kibaki was running. He supported Uhuru back then. He's been with Pentagon with Raila, and then now he's with Uhuru. So
he was with Trump.
I'm gonna finish and then you can come in. Yeah, he's always been a guy who says, dynasty. When it's him running, all of a sudden he switches. And then consider him. Now, yes, he grew with he had a humble beginning, and for that one we give him credit that he was able to rise where he got. But to me, where he loses me was when he got all that money from Y2K. He got into Parliament.
A lot of doing.
Became a minister. He was engaged in a lot of
scandal
about obtaining maize. To where he's the farmers in Kenya, to where he would say that he's not going to buy the product from the Kenyans. He wants it imported so that he can find a way of making some money out of the deal. And then he comes in from his own saying, and Daktari was alluding to that, from his own saying, he said that these guys come all the way from Kiambu. They come and open up on. There are so many of them from one place. Here in Rift Valley, they start their own village called Kiamba, and we know what that led to: people being killed in a church, burnt. That's the same thing that is getting Trump impeached because of inciting people. Ended up going to Capitol and doing some crazy stuff. So he actually has blood in his hands. Another thing that he actually said himself was, when there was all these, the scandal of Kimwarel Dam came up, people were throwing out some numbers. The money lost was 23 billion. Some people said 40 billion, 60 billion. He came out and said, Hadharani, in front of everyone, in a speech, a crowded place, and said the only amount of money lost was 7 billion. So how can he, what did he account for the 7 billion? So if you come here and tell us that Ruto is your guy, that we can't have any better candidates, and a whole thing we were saying right from the beginning was we can't turn a blind eye on politicians, we can't turn a blind eye on politics. We have to point out the bad. For me, and I was asked in the forum, where do I?
And for the records, who do you have for
let me finish the point, and then you'll jump in. Someone asked me, where do you stand? And I said it's okay to remain as an independent. it's okay for you to say, I'm not going to go for Rao, I'm not going to go for Ruto, or even for Uhuru if he's trying to come back as a prime minister, whatever the case. It's easy for you to say right now you stand as an independent, that we want to have more candidates to come up in the field. We want to have a bigger field. We want to have a bigger choice. But the moment we say that we've made a choice that it's going to be Rao, or you've made a choice that it's going to be Ruto, the other guys find themselves that there's no need of running. We've had many other candidates that are good candidates that have come in and they don't gain traction. We had PLO, we had Akina, even Molimudida. We even had, we had another good one. Many good folks that have reigned. But
don't forget Charity Giru and Ken Warobi was given pass by Charity Giru. So just to throw that out there. You know? Exactly. Ken, I hope you're watching.
All we're saying is and especially this issue of dynasty and Haslights, it's going to a very, very terrible place that we don't want to see ourselves.
And these are billionaires and millionaires.
Exactly. This is the point we have to say no.
Yeah.
And actually, if you consider yourself, all of you right here are dynasties, because when you go home and you rent a car, they'll come and ban your car because they're going to say you're a dynasty. If you send money home and your dad builds a home, a nice place for retirement, like you were saying, Nick, then they'll come and bat it down and say you're any dynasty. So we're heading in a very terrible place. We can't be quiet, but at the same time, we have to tell these guys absolutely no. Your history,
with everything that you've just said, I don't think you're independent. Who are you supporting for the 2022?
Who?
You.
I just made that point.
No, you can't be independent after being saying something about somebody else and just saying you can't be a president. You have to have
he's
a
fence sitter.
No. Fence sitter. What I'm saying is I haven't made a decision. I don't have good candidates on the field right now.
But you can say something about somebody not being a candidate without being.
For your show, you need to
18 months is a lifetime in politics.
Patrick and Tony.
Yeah.
18 months is a long time.
You need to host them. I think that would be a very good, interesting one.
I'm going to say Ruto is not the best person to support, but I'll tell you who I support. But what he just said is Ruto A, B, C, D. I don't like about him, but he didn't say.
Yes, Mr. Nganga, I think Brother Imasi has a point, Nganga.
No, that's a good point. But then I'm not going to come here and say I support a certain candidate, but he's not running. I want to see the pool open up.
Yeah.
If you tell me that the guys who are running in the primary of a certain party are this and this and that, then I'll look at their policies and look at them. What I'm saying is right now, I'm an undecided voter. That's fine to be. If the election is in August next year, it's okay to feel that you haven't made a decision yet. And that to me is a good thing, because it opens up the pool of candidates. If I start saying I want a certain candidate, and then I lock out everything else, I can't think about anybody else, I'm trying to defend a certain person, that to me it won't apply in my case. And actually everyone has to, to make their own decision. But for me, I want to see the field open up, and then I'll make a choice. When we're having this conversation, ADC, let's say July of 2022, I'll tell you who I'm voting for or who my money is on. So definitely, but for right now, I can see that the field is not a good field.
I'll say this, Nganga, I'm so glad you're on this forum. I love your thought process. It's all set. And Tony, I love you too. And I love this engagement. This is what it's all about. As I wind down, because guys, it's getting late. This is my thing.
12 o'clock.
This is my only ask and my request once again. Let's build each other, okay? This platform that we're trying to formulate, for those of you who are here, who have been engaging for the past 2 hours, let's build this fuel. I want to hear more from you guys and what we can do better. If it comes from me, when I throw it out there, honestly, people will not really pay that much attention. If it comes from you, gentle people, and by the way, Anne Lillian, you're the only woman here, and kudos once again. You're a fire starter. I'd love you to engage your sisters. I would love you to engage them.
Sarah is here.
Yes, We're onto something. We are onto something, my people here. We are onto something. You know,
We
I
have
would
a
like
lot
to
of women
vaccine.
on YouTube. I think I can see a lot of women on YouTube too.
Oh,
Actually, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Bonza, we can recognize, Kate Moy,
Okay.
Masi Omenge from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
There's
Okay.
there's a name I can't pronounce here.
You can't
there's
read. We know you're illiterate.
Buhoro, there's Socio Pom Poms, David Wanyoike,
oh wow.
and if Mwaneki, if I left your name, I apologize. But we had
Sarah Kagacha is here.
Oh, Sarah. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. She's on Zoom. Yeah.
Okay.
And
All I'm
and Kebadi, and I know like Al, I think had asked
Tony,
a
we
question.
were acknowledging women.
Also,
Okay. But
right.
it's okay. You acknowledged on that note.
No. Mine is a different point of order. I was gonna say you had requested for suggestions about if you're gonna do like a Zoom meeting and you have many people. Maybe what you can do, you can have a panel. And so you can maybe from today's whoever was present, maybe you can come up with a panel and then invite other people so that it's going to be the 13 of us. You can have 10 people in the panel and then everybody else listening in. And they can also like chip in whatever they have to say. And then also I just wanted to counter, there's a gentleman who talked about the Kimwarel dam and he was saying how it was Ruto's fault. But I think if you know anything about the Kimwarel and Arol dam scandal, I think it was one of those whereby the government, they kind of like took out an expensive government to government guarantee with the Italian government. And in cases like these, you want to have a guarantee so that you can protect yourself. If you are the Italian, you want to protect yourself in what you're going to invest. And in this case, it was the two dams. And so it's also a requirement by say the Italian because they also want to make they also want to make sure that they do not lose out on their money. In case there was going to be a bankruptcy or a regime change on the side of the government. And so this is a kind of guarantee that could have gone either way. But then what ended up happening is that the Italian company went belly up. And so when they went belly up, that meant that the Italian government should have paid, not the Italian government, but the Italian company should have paid the Kenyan government for all the funds that were required, as it is them that had failed to fulfill the part of their obligation. But instead of us waiting for Rome to send the billions back, Uhuru went ahead and canceled one of the dam and then scaled the other. And so now Kenya ended up becoming the offender because now it appeared like they're the ones who had pulled out. And so that's how Kenya ended up losing the money. So it's not that Ruto people or Ruto stole the money. That is how that case ended up. It was a case whereby the government acted wrongly by canceling the contract instead of waiting for the money.
Tony is a Ruto guy.
I'm not saying this because I'm a Ruto guy. I just want
thief.
to know what happened.
No, you are.
Does Ruto steal?
Oh, you are.
You are biased. You are biased.
Okay, no. I mean, this is not a bias. It's not about, you see, like, I don't know if Ruto steals or I don't know if he's a thief. What I know is that there's a lot of corruption and
we all know he is.
So, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe somebody else steals. Maybe it's like, maybe Uhuru steals, maybe Raila steals. Maybe who else steals? Maybe even Mudavadi and Kalonzo. Maybe they all steal.
They all steal.
Yeah.
Tony,
So maybe they all steal, but I don't know. I don't know if Ruto steals because I don't know. I haven't seen a case in court where he has been convicted of stealing. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't steal.
Tony,
so
man,
I'm not saying anything.
Kill me.
Right?
It's like I have my best friend is a Trump fanatic. And Tony, you're a smart human being. You killing me.
But Barnes,
you see, like, but you see, I'm trying to share facts. I'm trying to show how that money, because you see, like, there's a lot of misconceptions out there when people throw all these big words like, you know, corruption and all these other things, and then they attach them to somebody and then they form a perspective. But they do not know the story behind. No, seriously. When you don't know the story behind, and that is the story behind the Arol and Kimwarel. So I mean, like, if you know anything about those guarantees and how they work,
there's more. There's more.
You know, this guy
more
who
to
is
the damn
this
scandal.
guy, he said the same thing. In fact, on national television, he said the same thing on national television.
Who?
This guy. His dad used to be a PC, and he's now the guy who's chairing the BBI commission. Nur Haji.
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
Nur Haji, by the way, if you listen to him on TV sometimes back, he did not go into details as what happened in the Arol and Kimwarel Dam, but then he said it was a case of misappropriation by the government.
I'm Googling it here.
And that's how the government ended up losing money. So, but it's not that the money was lost. But because
Ruto's talking point you're using.
My God.
No, that's not Ruto's talking point.
Ruto is very lucky.
Guys, if
Ruto
you
is a very
go
lucky
and
guy.
research, go and research the
Just
Arol and
Google, you'll
Kimwarel,
see.
and then CMC Ravina.
There's no researching.
Go and do your research, guys, and you'll see that is exactly what happened.
Tony, let me tell you, Tony, Ruto is not going to be our president. That's it.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, the voters will decide on that. The mass, you never know. I mean, like, even as you see, like, the thing about the future is that nobody knows, right?
No, it's true.
So I mean, no. I mean, you do, because you don't know about the future. You don't know about who is going to be the president.
No,
but like
agreed,
some years back, if you ask some people, they were so
we did take the future.
Trump was going to get a second term, and he didn't. Instead, Biden came and won. So I mean, even in Kenya, you never know. Ruto can be president. It can be even you, Emase, or even Kibaki can become the president, right?
No, you answer me now. Are you comparing Biden with Ruto?
No. I mean, like, the thing is, I'm talking about the future. No, I'm not comparing anybody with anyone. I'm just talking about the future.
No, but Ruto is not the future. Biden is the president.
No. I mean, the future is the future, but no one knows about it.
Yeah, so we are not going to.
That's all I'm saying.
All I can say is that Ruto is a very lucky man.
And I hate for someone to have to defend Ruto that same way. I mean, you put yourself in a position where you're having to defend another person for things that are so questionable. We all know these deals, the way they do them. You know, when he says it's an Italian company, they usually go out there and sort some guy, some white.
That is their money.
Exactly. They go up there, they say, hey, start a fly-by-night company, we'll do something, some crazy stuff here and there. We'll send money to you. I'll have my guys, all the guys that I've appointed, Akina Rotich, Akina Chirchir, all those guys that the cronies that Ruto had in place. He knows how to manipulate the area. And that's why, to me, when like your father, you were saying, a very smart guy, somebody that has done so many good things, someone that you look up to, and then you somehow, I don't know what happens, you get convinced by a crazy...
And that worries me so much. And I'll tell you something, Tony, my goodness, you worry me and you worry me. You are this guy.
I know where he got it from.
You are this guy.
I know where he got it from.
And that worries me.
Where did he get it from? Where did I get it from?
If honestly, if it was my nephews in Geshagi who honestly were looking for a handout and who honestly don't know anything, they just want to, 10, 15, 200 shillings.
Yeah, he was a wheelbarrow.
But you, Tony,
yeah?
I'm worried, man. And this is what keeps me up at night. It's like
actually,
it's like Trump supporters.
No, Barnes, what's trending on YouTube right now from our viewers. They want to hear more about, what Tony's talking about. So I don't know whether they are following their Ruto supporters, but
No. I think
whatever Tony is saying, has some substance.
Those are Ruto people. Ruto people have the plan.
You see, I mean, for me, like I like to look at the facts and then let the facts take me to where they'll take me.
Well, whatever you're saying it might not be factual, but
hey, Tony,
it has substance.
No.
Hey, Tony,
these
can you turn your
are
video
for a
on?
fact I know.
Can we see your face? Some of us don't know you.
Who, me?
Yeah, can we see you?
No, my camera is acting up.
Oh, really? Just when it's needed.
No.
No, something at his camera. Maybe he can tell us. There's this gentleman who just passed on Moteshi, and Ruto grabbed his land.
Oh my God! Yes.
Watu wakutane kwa debe.
Exactly. He took him to court, and the court after doing their own. Exactly. The judgment was that yes, indeed, Ruto had grabbed that land, and it was supposed to be given back, plus get paid for all the time that he had lost the use of it. And then he died the other day, a very miserable man.
Yes.
Because he was fighting this guy in court, tooth and nail. Can you imagine trying to fight a deputy president or whoever he was, the minister? All along, he's been a big dude. He grabs your land. You say, no matter what, I'm going to fight this thing. And he fought till his death. This is what we are being told that we need to vote for. I'm like, is that the best we can do as a country? 47 million people.
I'm not going to open up let me open up a can of worms. But our very own doctor is fighting also. He knows he's fighting some stuff that we all know that, Dr. We know. Life is hard. Yeah, we know.
Life's hard. Yeah, we can use our brains.
Yeah.
What decision are you making?
I know. Hey, Buns, I want to help you as part of hosting this thing. Guys, what do you want to discuss next? Coming next week, we have a lot of topics. We want to discuss more about churches. There's more church. There's more pastors. Here in the West that we have representation in the government. We want to continue with this BBI talk. We want to continue with Hasora, aka Tony Gary, and Dynasty. So what should we talk about next week? We have about 5 more minutes before we wrap this thing up. After midnight, somebody might sabaza my Zoom. Otherwise, I'll be running out of credit.
What do you guys want to hear? I'm proposing Kibadi for 2022.
Kibadi beats Ruto hands down.
I'll say this.
No, seriously, Kibadi has the potential.
Yes.
I have a lot of dirt. I have a lot of dirt.
Let's first see how he runs ADC. Let's first see how he runs ADC.
No, I don't think Kibadi will want to run because I think if I know Kibadi well, I think politics would be a waste of time, right, Kibadi, for you?
Yeah, politics is not my cup of tea.
Oh, no. Kibadi,
no, seriously. I don't think it's his cup of tea. Yeah?
Tony,
yeah?
I know Kibadi for a very long time. Huh?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, I think him in politics, especially in Worcester,
yeah.
I think he can make a very big major change in there. He can actually upset some big stuff there. But unfortunately, Kibadi doesn't believe in himself.
What do you mean? I don't believe myself? We all believe. What do you mean?
All great leaders, are reluctant. All great leaders are reluctant leaders.
Yeah.
So, including Moses.
Dr. Ali, if I get you right, you're saying we should mold him to be the leader that we want him to be.
I've been telling you for about Kibadi. I've been telling you that in your face, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Worcester, I think you can make it. You can make it.
I have a lot of dirt. They pull up my background.
Kibadi,
we have you. We have your back. You can do it.
Kibadi, you can win the Prezzo. You can win anything.
I
don't care what that you have, man. You can win that.
I think people will back you up, though. If you really want, I think people will back you up.
I support
and you can get backing from. I think there's a very big Ghanaian community as well in Worcester. Yeah,
huge. Bigger than the Kenyan one.
Yep.
Yeah, but the man has to be willing. Hey guys, thank you for tonight. Thank you for your contributions. Let us know which topic we want to discuss next week. It will not be an open platform. It will be, we'll just narrow down to that particular topic. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, by the way, and Kibati 2022.
Yes.
I think let's have a continuation of this.
You
politics.
should separate the Kenya politics with all the other topics. You guys should have, like, maybe on a Tuesday have our Kenya politics, something like that, on Saturday, and have our Kenya politics where you guys just discuss about Kenya politics and everybody joins into it. And then now you leave the Thursday one to what we have, because I love what Kifadi and you guys are doing. But if you mix that up with Kenya politics, I think it's gonna get a little bit weird.
I agree.
Just my suggestion.
I'm gonna ask. I have my final ask, and by the way, I appreciate all of you. Listen, I can guarantee out of the 256 of us in here, less than 50 of us have subscribed. Please, if you haven't subscribed, honestly, guys, let's do that. Honestly, please, just subscribe. That's it. You won't be bothered. You won't have to pay anything. Just subscribe. Honestly, help us help each other. That is my humble request to all of you. I'm gonna fight. We're gonna fight. Me and Al and my team, we're here for you guys. And I'm honestly enthralled today, this evening, for all of you who participated, every one of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Bounce, we had a great feedback from YouTube, and one person actually recognized you on CNN during U.S. Embassy bombing back in the days.
Oh, wow.
So Bounce, some of the comments are great here on YouTube. And guys, like I said, we have great topics coming up. BBI, Hasura versus Dynasty. Also, one of the most, controversial topics that we want to have. Why do we have more pastors in here than we have representation in any government or any school district or any local politics? Let's get that topic needs to be, it needs to be brought up here, and we need to discuss, because, anytime you hear a Kenyan church, actually it's not about how many people who go there, it's how many pastors that want to divide people so that they can start their own church. Guys, thank you again. Bonds, wrap it up.
I want to thank some few people here. I want to thank Dr. Kiongera. Thank you so much. Patrick Nganga, nice to meet you, brother. Mr. Texas, Asante Sana, and Lillian, my lupus sister. I'm waiting for my hoodie. I'm waiting.
Oh, it's on the way.
I'm waiting.
Serious. It's on the way.
Emasi,
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sam Flugi, he kind of whatever, Sam from earlier, Dongo, Michael, Meshoke, my brother, Guy, folks, Tony Ngare.
You forgot about Emasi.
I did. I said, my man from Turkana. My man from Turkana. I did.
Hey, you want to say from Lokchogio?
Lokma.
Tony Ngare, honestly, I love you, but I don't understand you, but I love this.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bumblebee.
Oh, of course, he's the guy, my man from Geshagi himself. And all of you guys, honestly, today is the beginning. Okay, guys, let's subscribe. Let's do this thing. Every Thursday, we're going to try and give you guys some output. Work with us, support us, and thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Next week.
How do that laugh thing? How's that like this? Laugh like that?
Yeah, like that one.
Oh no, Mike is doing this. Mike is doing this. Mike, no.
Who doing? Love you, man.
Patrick, thank you.
Love you,
guys.
All right. And
love you, man.